So today, I want to analyze a game replay from the rank 1 Luna Snow, who is actually probably the rank 1 support player in the world overall, because he and his team have won pretty much every single Marvel Rivals tournament that's been so far. So definitely a good contender for the actual number 1 support player in the world. But the game that I want to go over today is a game where he was MVP with 40 assists, almost 40,000 healing, but more importantly, he played against Dive with Spider-Man and Venom, which I know a lot of support players have been asking of how do you actually deal with Dive? Well, we're about to see what the rank 1 support player does when he plays against Dive. Quickly though, before we begin, let's take a look at the bans. We have Jeff, which might actually surprise a lot of you, but Jeff is incredibly annoying to play against, and at these high ranks where people can actually take advantage of all of his slippery and mobility, it makes sense that he's starting to be banned a lot. Second ban is Human Torch, makes sense, he's super strong, super annoying to deal with. Third ban is the Hulk, again, still makes sense, he has a really strong team up. And if the enemy wanted to play Dive, it does make sense to ban Hulk so that the enemy doesn't have access to the extra name or team up. And the last ban is Groot, another strong hero, it makes sense. So yeah, these are the bans. Moving on to the actual game, this is the first round on Domination of the new map Krakoa, and yeah, let's see what he does. Okay, the first thing that I want to point out is that he's putting his Snowflake on a diver, right? As Luna, you want to use your Snowflake mostly on DPS that probably go around and flank, because you're not going to be seeing them most of the time. So you want to be able to heal them even if you can't see them, which is why the Snowflake is really good on flanky or divers DPS like Iron Fist right here. Okay, going straight ahead, maybe to do some preliminary damage. He is kind of early here compared to the rest of his team, but I guess he just wanted to scout a little bit ahead. Still probably not the best positioning. Like, this is definitely a bit risky, although it's not the worst, but yeah, probably should go a little bit back, which he looks like he's doing now. Okay, he did hear the Spider-Man, and instantly he also sees the Venom, and instantly he's already backing away into his teammates, because that's what you want to do against Dive. You don't want to stay by yourself to be isolated, because then you're an easy target. You want instead to go towards your team so that your team can actually assist you if you get dived like this. I just stack with your team, and look, the Bucky just completely dominated the Spider-Man because he stood next to him, and it made it easy for his Bucky to actually help. Then moving on to the point, really interesting that he's just kind of sitting out like this. That's a nice freeze. Okay, he actually shoots and kills the Venom, and he also starts damaging the Spider-Man. So when you're against Dive, like I said, firstly you want to stack with your team so that they can actually help you, and then you don't want to let the divers have their way. You want to challenge them, as in you want to shoot them, you want to fight them, you want to damage them before they even start their dives. Okay, using the clap right now, looking for a kill. Look, he's just damaging the Spider-Man before he even tries to go in. That's an interesting Snowflake as well. Like, okay, looks like they've just won the point, kind of looking to get some more damage done. Still playing, like, it's really nice how he's playing around cover like this, right? And also playing next to the other support, next to the Loki, where he's safe and can be protected by his teammates. He's not going forward for no reason. Okay, sees the enemies are starting to push up, so they are backing away already. Immediately just look at this, man. Immediately just goes all the way back, and he's probably going to look to play here. Maybe not. Maybe when the enemies are getting closer, he's probably going to go to some cover. Okay, but just from a distance, look, man. Again, shooting the divers before they even get a chance to do something. That's just kind of unfortunate because he did not look at the other Loki. He might actually die here. Oh, or not, he's just gonna ult. Okay. This is... I mean, the ultimate makes sense because they have captured the point and the enemies are fighting, so not the worst. Unfortunately, he does die right after, but that was decent because throughout his entire ultimate, they have made a lot of progress on the actual objective. So even though they do lose this fight, it was kind of a stall so that they get more progress on the objective. So even though they lose here, they still win progress. Okay, just looking to do some healing as he's coming out. They're probably not gonna push up too much. That's a good freeze. Yep. And it's kind of interesting that he's almost using the freeze like on cooldown as soon as he has it, or like as soon as he sees a good moment, as soon as he sees a good target to use it on, he's just throwing it like this. Look at man, he's using it instantly, like he doesn't even give enough chance to do something about it. And I think the reasoning for this instant freeze is because when you actually use the freeze on Luna, you get some healing over time for yourself. So first of all, it is annoying for the diver because he's getting frozen and it's getting interrupted. But more than that, you actually get some healing so that during the dive, you actually have a higher chance to survive it. So as soon as you get dove, just use the freeze, man. Even if you don't hit someone, it's still good for the extra healing over time that you get. Same for the clap, by the way. Okay, the Spider-Man, that's a clutch hold from the end for the Loki. He did kind of isolate himself. That was really close. Good for the Luna for coming back to him. Or like the Loki, actually. Okay, then he just defaults back to this positioning because it's really good. It's in the back, it has cover, and it allows him to see everything that's going on. Okay, Spider-Man goes for him, instantly freezes. However, it's not quite enough this time. And I think the reason he kind of died this time is because, yeah, this is a good position, but maybe he was a bit too far back compared to his team. If he played a bit closer to them, maybe he could have gotten help. Because look, the Baki was turning around him, so he was looking to help. The Luna was also, like the Loki was also looking behind, looking to help. So I think this is a good position in general, but maybe not when your team is so far forward, and maybe not when there's a diver that can come to you, because he's basically isolated himself in a way. Really interesting to see that. Sometimes the best position is not always good. Regardless, one thing to take away from this is definitely using your freeze as soon as you're getting dove. Placing the snowflake as well, looking to heal people. Oh, that was really unfortunate. I don't think he should have walked forward there. So he is right outside that Psylocke ult, and he did walk a little bit too close, which made him go into range and actually get destroyed. That was kind of a misplay from him for sure. See guys, even rank 1 players make dumb mistakes like this. Now they're just waiting around for the rest of the team so that they can regroup and have an actual fight instead of just going one by one and staggering. You don't want to go forward if your entire team is dead, just go together. Wait a little bit and go together. Same thing here, just sitting in the back, not going forward for no reason. Probably gonna clap and ult as soon as he gets it. Same with the freeze, instantly freezes, yep. There's the ult, just like I said, he was just looking to build it up really quickly so they can actually use the ultimate to push onto the point and contest it. That's a weird ultimate from the Spider-Man. He does get hit there, but he probably survives. Okay. That's a very interesting fight, although I think they have lost this point. Ooh, destroys the Spider-Man, but I don't think it matters. Yeah, this point is just gone. See, same thing there with the freeze, looking to get some extra healing, but it doesn't matter, like this point is just lost. Yeah, I think genuinely, maybe the reason they've lost that first point is because he kind of killed himself by walking into the Psylocke ultimate, so that misplay was actually kind of huge deal. However, he did do quite good against the dive. Of course, he can't deal with the dive all the time, but for the most part, he's definitely just instantly looking for that freeze as soon as he's getting dove, and just by his pure positioning, he is making it more difficult for the divers to actually get to him. Now let's look at the second point here. Again, using the snowflake on the Iron Fist, because the Iron Fist is going to be going around and he needs some remote healing. Looking to do some damage before the fight actually happens, because there's nothing to heal, so he's just looking for the dive. Okay, so the Spider-Man is already looking for him. It's kind of an awkward position, but he does manage to just get away. See, I don't really like this because he's almost isolating himself in a way. But it looks like it doesn't matter that much. Okay, just sitting in the Invisible One ultimate. Again, looking to shoot whenever you can something. Oh, he almost got the Spider-Man, but he dies anyway. Instantly freeze again. Just look at this. He's just using that freeze so by pure reaction. Like, he doesn't even leave a chance to get. He's just using that freeze instantly. Same thing here, man. Look at this. Like, to the millisecond, as soon as he gets it, he instantly uses it again because the Spider-Man is going onto him, so he needs that extra healing, and more importantly, it gives him a chance to get away by purely freezing the Spider-Man if he can manage to hit it. Doesn't quite hit it this time, but it was good enough to help him get away and get off his ultimate. Okay, now they're just dancing around. There's nothing much else to be done right now. It's just everyone's dancing. Okay, immediately with the freeze again. Man, these freezes are just so on point. Unfortunately, it might not matter. Oh, that was so good. That was absolutely clutch. This was absolutely clutch from the other support. Now, he did kind of put himself into an awkward position right here. Like, he's definitely kind of isolated himself from the rest of his team, which is why the Spider-Man has an easier time going for him. But I gotta give it to the Invisible Woman. She absolutely came in clutch right here. Look at this. Holy. Yep. And that's another thing that you want to do as a support when you're against divers. You want to keep an eye out for your other support to make sure that in case one of you is getting dove, you help each other. It's almost impossible for a diver to get a kill if you actually heal each other like this. Okay, shooting the clone and destroying. That's a nice freeze, man. Man, he's almost using the freeze zone cooldown, I feel like. Yeah, I think a lot of people actually underuse the freeze so much. Definitely a lot more used than I initially thought of. Again, instantly with the freeze, almost hits it, but he dies anyway. Super nice. I see that now he's not playing that far back. He's definitely playing a lot closer to his team because of the divers maybe, or like because of the positioning of the point. Still, he does freeze actually. Okay, he did freeze. I did not quite see it, but definitely froze again. He also has the Iron Fist team up, which definitely helps because it pushes enemies away. It gives off a little bit of healing, and I think it also slows them away. But even without the team up, he's just mostly utilizing his freeze really well. And kind of what I forgot to mention is, when he is clapping like this, he's looking to do damage and healing at the same time, because he's trying to kind of line himself up to heal his tanks and hit the enemies at the same time, because what this does is it builds up a lot of ultimate charge. Look at this. A lot of ultimate charge. He does hear the Spider-Man, okay. He's probably gonna look for an ultimate at this fight. Using the freeze again for... I mean, I guess he didn't need it, so he just used it. And now they're kind of under pressure, so he might look for an ultimate soon. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, because he's getting targeted by the Spider-Man. He did not want to risk it, which is why he ulted maybe a little bit early, but yeah, he didn't want to die with his ultimate, because that would have been really bad. See, he looks for the Invisible Woman to make sure that she is right. Again, they're healing each other, looking out for each other, which is what you want to do. Look at this, man. Just really nice team play from both of supports right now. Same with the freeze. Even though he doesn't really need the freeze, he's mostly using the freeze to kind of annoy the enemy in this case. Oh, is he gonna win this? Absolutely not. He does kind of get diffed there. But it's a Psylocke. But with that, I do think they're gonna win this point right here, if I'm not mistaken. Because it doesn't look like the enemy has any forces to refight this. Yeah, it's just won by them. Okay, so let's go to the third point now. Now, on the third point, it does look like the enemies have swapped off dive because it wasn't really working for them. So you can definitely see that he played it decently enough that the enemy has actually swapped off the dive because they weren't thinking that it was working well enough. So it might not have been absolutely perfect play against dive, but even at this high rank, it was good enough that the enemies thought it's not worth it anymore. Okay, looking to clap and do damage at the same time, heal and do damage at the same time, I mean. By kind of stacking with the enemies, looking out for his auto support as well. Probably look for an ultimate soon. Yep, there you go. I mean, it kind of makes... The reason I was expecting an ultimate here is because it was kind of a big fight going on. His thing looked like he was taking a bit too much damage, and now, of course, the enemy Iron Fist is using an ultimate as well, so it's obvious that you're gonna have to reply with your own ultimate. And now they're using this ultimate to kind of push them back and push them forward. Alright, looks like they just completely dominated. Their Baki is againing. Okay, sitting in the back, nice. See, like, he's just not going forward for no real reason. He's always kind of looking in the back, looking to shoot something, do some damage, like there. He tried to shoot if he can something, like the Loki clone. If not, just do some healing. Again, use the freeze kind of randomly. Same with the clap. They might die here, no. They reply with the ult. Nice. Sitting in the Invis ult, nothing there. He's kind of isolated himself here, but I don't think the enemies have seen him. Okay, they might lose the point now, because, yeah, I think they're down a bit too many people. Yeah. I think he's probably just looking for some extra healing to build his ultimate, because there's no way they can win this point now anymore. Looking to disengage, and yeah, he does get out, okay. Yeah, they're probably just gonna look to regroup now and go back to push the point. He does almost have his ultimate, so he's probably gonna be looking to use it this next fight. Really good that he's just turning around and you actually want to check on your teammates to make sure they are fine. It's actually insane how many support players are just completely unaware of what's going on behind them or besides them, and you could be quite literally sitting behind them asking for heals and they just don't even know you're there, which is why it's important to look around you when you can. Okay, he does build his ultimate here. Oh, that's a nice kill. This is why you want to use your clap on Luna to try to also damage the enemy team, because that clap actually does a ton of damage. And you might find yourself in situations like this where you can simply hit the backline and you actually might get the pick on the enemy backline with your clap, which is absolutely insane value for a support player. They might not even need his ultimate right now, actually, because they are doing quite fine. Yep. They just capture it back. Although it's kind of interesting to see that now the enemy doesn't have dive anymore. He's not using his freeze as much as he used to. Right? Because he doesn't really have that much of a reason. He might just throw it randomly during the middle of the fight, but he was mostly definitely keeping it for the dive back then. Okay, there he tried to use the freeze. And again, looking to clap, do damage, and heal at the same time. He might use an ultimate. Yep, just replying. Now everyone's dancing and there's nothing going on. Oh, that's a nice mag ult though. Yeah, they just went off of that. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna matter. Because it's not enough. Yeah, there's just too many people. I think that might actually be the end of the game, actually. I don't think they're gonna have a recontest here. Okay, they touch. Looks like they got back to the Venom, but I don't think it's gonna matter at this point. Yep, just looking at everyone, making sure everyone is topped up, right? You don't want to ignore your teammates. Oh, that's a nice kill. And that's kind of another thing I should have mentioned maybe is, as support, you can do damage and you can actually get kills. You don't have to heal bot 24/7. You can afford to just shoot a little bit and do some damage on the enemies, especially when you can do so much damage with things like Luna or your clap. So that's why you don't want to be trying to heal bot 24/7. But yeah, absolutely masterclass of a game. He does get MVP here, which is quite deserved, I would say. He did get kills, he did a lot of healing. So the main thing that you should take away from this game is, if you're getting dove, use your freeze like instantly. Stick to your team or go to your team so that it's harder for the divers to get to you. Make sure to keep an eye out for the other support so that you can help each other if you are getting dove. Don't go forward and just play a bit further back, right? Maybe with some cover if you have around you. And don't use your ultimate for no reason. Basically, every time he used his ultimate, it was to reply to an enemy ultimate or to keep up the pressure to win the fight that's going on. You don't want to use your ultimate after the fight is over or before the fight has even started. You want to use an ultimate to win a fight that's already going on. So that's about it for the Luna gameplay. Cypher is an amazing player. I highly recommend you guys checking him out. I'll leave a link in the description. If you have any other questions, just ask me in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. Go get some wins now.